Hello, I'm Deanna. Welcome to Nana's Journey, and today we are going to start a brand new quilt. It is a 6-part stitch along. I think it's like a 6-month block of the month. I haven't seen any stitch along things. It's probably on Facebook. I don't do Facebook. The only social media I do is YouTube. But here is the quilt, and this darker part, we're going to be doing this row. These blocks right here and this bottom row here will be the first, they call them installments, units, blocks, whatever you want to call them. It's by Kim Diehl, and the fabrics are from the collection Quiet Grace. And here are some of the fabrics. They remind me of, pioneer type, old-time quilts. And I bought the kit. I never would have been able to put pieces like this together. I never would have thought of using these fabrics, but it looks really good, I think, all together. So there is some of the fabrics. These are the ones we're going to be using for installment 1. So I really like the gray one. But these are all really nice. And I wanted to show them to you before I started cutting. And because it's not my pattern, I can't give you the cut sizes. And that really bugs me, not being able to give you guys the sizes. And then these are the 3 background creams. I did watch somebody from my favorite quilt store, I believe it is, and she gave a tip that said to iron all your fabrics first and to make a copy of the swatch page that comes with the pattern, cut it up, and pin it to your fabric, and it will make things a lot easier. And I could tell already, trying to find which ones I'm using today, that was a good tip. So I'm glad I took her advice and did that. So they all have their swatch and number pinned to them. So let me get my pieces cut out. We are going to start with these. They're called, she's calling them spinning stars. So I will be back in a moment. Okay, this is the block we are going to make. You can see both colors kind of look like they're spinning, kind of like a pinwheel type thing. And I'm glad I made a practice block first because one, the pattern had me cut this fit just right. There was no seam allowance, so I had to make that one a little bit bigger. And then when I sewed it all together, I noticed that these 2 reds were in the wrong spot. I wasn't paying attention to that. I was trying to keep the green parts in the right spot. So that's something to be aware of and pay attention to when you're making it. I was going to cut out all 8 squares and then just chain sew, but I think to keep from getting confused, I am just going to do one at a time. So this is how it's going to lay out. These ones, I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch on each side, cut in the middle, and iron it open. And then these ones will go on top of there. So we'll have a combination unit. And I put these there so I can remember which direction they go. So let's get to the sewing machine and we will get these started. We're just going to take these 2 and do a 1/4 inch on each side. Okay, then we're just going to cut them open And then we'll press, and then we'll get the black triangles put on. Okay, I've got these pressed, and I'm going to trim them to 2.5 inches. I've got these, and let's see, this one goes this way. So this is how the star is going to look when it's finished. And I have to do it like this. I have to make sure this is in the right spot. I have to look at the picture and that this is going the right way. And same as here and here and here and here and here and here. I noticed finally that the cream is always at the top of the unit. So now what I want to do is just flip this like this. When I was recording before, I had just turned it over. I thought, oh, I want it right here. I just flipped it over and sewed. And as you can see, I had to undo it because then it put it on the wrong side. So I want it here. So I'm going to flip it over so that when I sew it, then when I press it back, it will be in the right spot. So I'm going to leave just a little fabric so that when I trim it, I can trim it to the right size. And I'm just going to sew from corner to corner. Okay, let me press these, and I'm going to double check them before I cut. Okay, so this is kind of like folded corners. You want to make sure, see this, there's just a sliver here, but it's close enough. I guess if I pull that over, then it's just exactly even. So they are okay to cut, and I'm going to lay them out one more time to double check I've got them in the right spot before I cut this part off. So that is correct. That, and no, that's not right. So, alrighty. So let me get these squared up. I'll trim it to the right size and cut that part off, and then we will put the rows together. Okay, I've got them laid out the way they go, and we're just going to start sewing them together. Okay, once again, you want to double check. Make sure you not putting a row upside down. Everything's in the right order. Nest the seams. So you want those seams to lock. And then we'll sew. And then the seams will be pressed down towards the top and bottom row. Okay, we've got our first 2 stars. And they're easy to make. You just need to be conscious of the placement and which direction they're going. But other than that, they're simple stars, just half square triangles, and then you just add another triangle and put them together. So let me get the other 6 blocks done, and then we'll be back. Okay, I've got all the stars made, and now I need to put them in a row, and I'm going to do 2 stars, and then I'm going to put a coping strip, and I'm going to do 2 stars on this end, put a coping strip, and then these will go in the middle. So I will be right back. Okay, I've got them all sewn together in a row. That out of there. And that part of the first block or installment is done. Next time we're going to do this block and maybe this, and then the time after that we will do this, this, and this, and then installment 1 will be done. So I want to thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you next time on Nana's Journey.